100, Season 2, Episode 13, Resurrection. I was really excited for this episode, and without a doubt, it did not disappoint. I really loved it, of course. I think, like a lot of people, I would have to say the best stuff, I think, in this episode and in the last episode, despite, just the entire drama of the last episode. My favorite stuff right now is what's going on inside of the mountain. It's really the survival of the characters that are trapped within this mountain, because the people on the outside, obviously, especially, last episode and this episode, they have to deal with Mount Weather as well. They were hit by a missile. They have to deal with the aftermath and things like that. But that's, it's really hard to compare. Like, when people are dying, it's hard to, make levels of how one thing is worse than another. But when it's a death, you're getting hit by a missile, and for some people, of course, they suffer, others die quickly. In, the case of the 47 inside of the mountain, it's not that way. It's like they're being taken, they get tortured, they're, bone marrow stuff. That's incredibly painful. That's literally going into your bones. Like, if you think breaking a bone hurts, imagine a needle going into your bone, like drills literally inside of your bones and stuff. So, they suffer, on a much higher level. It's not just, it's mental and physical on both sides of the fence, but I'd say it's much more mental, inside the mountain. It's like we're directly going up against these people. They're coming, face to face with us on, hourly basis with machine guns and smoke grenades to knock us out. And they're trying to take us so that they can use bone marrow so that they can basically leave and attack everyone else on the outside. So we have to stand strong, wait for them to come to us, but we also have to stand strong so that they can't, leave the mountain and go to them. So, there's, as much as they're being rescued, they're doing a lot to help everyone on the outside as well. Because just like in the case of the sniper, if he had to have a hazmat suit, he couldn't have possibly been out there overnight and into the day, trying to pick people off and, scouting and, shooting people as they tried to escape. That just wouldn't have worked if he had a hazmat suit. He'd have to have a ton of oxygen, and I don't know, there's a limit. He's already carrying a big sniper rifle and weight and all that stuff and camouflage and all these extra things that go into, being a sniper. That type of stuff just couldn't exactly happen the way it happened in this episode if it weren't for the kids inside the mountain being taken. So there's a lot placed on them as, fighters and rescuees. They're waiting to be rescued, but at the same time they have a huge weight on their shoulders to, honestly, they are doing a lot to help protect everyone on the outside too. So, it's really crazy, and the scenes they had were definitely amazing. They're obviously taking huge strides, especially in this episode. They really had a great chance to fight back. They tried in the last one, but they didn't really have the weapons or anything like that. So, unfortunately, they weren't exactly able to do anything until the very end of the episode, and they had, when they were doing the sort of chain link with their arms and stuff. And in this one, it was they all had knives or guns and bats and stuff, and they killed 10 people. They killed 10 people that were trying to come in and take them, and it was just a well done scene. It was really good. And Monty and Jasper were really cool in this. We got to see them do one of the things that they did on season 1, where they do the little clap, and I thought that was kind of cool, just to have that little moment between them. And it was serious, but it was it's their buddy relationship type thing sort of standing out, which we haven't seen too much aside from them just obviously being best friends. So that was really cool. And sometimes I get them mixed up. I believe it was Monty though, kind of taking charge. And it was really cool. It was nice to see that. That was pretty sweet. And he also kind of went a little dark. It was fairly interesting when he lost the one girl he had promised he would keep safe. We're all going to be safe, I promise. And, of course, she's the one who was taken, and that took a toll on him. And the one guy that was left alive. And that was an interesting scene, even in the trailer. But, combining it with the emotional aspect of what he felt in that moment, it wasn't just, oh, he killed that guy who was alive. It was, he killed this guy to let out a little bit of anger that he had for feeling like he failed. And that was really cool. It was him kind of going a little bit dark, but it was awesome to see him as one, kind of a leader of his people inside of the mountain. So that was cool. The scene where Bellamy actually came in and he actually saved that girl, I thought was a great scene, because, she got in there, she was about to fight back if Bellamy wasn't there to actually stop her because she thought he was a bad guy. she probably still would have ended up escaping, or getting fairly close. At least they probably would have saw on the monitors again. And I thought that was cool. Like, she was able to fight back. She would have escaped them, and then Bellamy comes in and he kind of really shuts it down. Like, there was no chance, obviously, once he kind of shot them both in the head. So it was like, I was like, sweet. Like, she didn't get busted. Everyone survived in this episode, at least on the inside of the mountain. So I thought that was just really cool. It was like, even if we, even though it was like one person, it was like that one person we thought was gonna get captured and tortured was ultimately saved because Bellamy's still kind of doing his thing in the background. So I love that it was like no one inside the mountain, at least in this episode. Hopefully in none of the episodes, but definitely in this one, everyone was able to survive inside the mountain. So it was just a great step for them, surviving in this place where it's like we're really just trapped on this one floor, but they held strong. So that was pretty cool. And by the end, everyone gets split up and they're going with people who used to be part of a revolution. We met Maya's father, who I actually knew from the series Bates Motel, so it was kind of funny seeing him. I was like, I know he's in some show, and then it kind of clicked. Totally different character in Bates Motel. He's kind of more along the lines of the Mountain Men in this episode. In Bates Motel, he does some real illegal stuff in Bates Motel, but it was kind of funny to see him, and he was a cool guy in this. He helped them out. They kind of split everyone up, so everyone's going to be hidden, by the, I guess, revolutionaries, really. So that was pretty cool. And then we have Bellamy decides, like, they don't know officially that I'm here, so he's still on the inside and he can walk around and get access and stuff like that. Maya's been busted, so now it's really going to be up to Bellamy. And I feel like Dante's going to come back into it really soon. And I was surprised that it wasn't him. I thought he was going to be the one they went to, and he was going to, Bellamy was going to be like, all right, we're going to get him out of here and he'll help us out. He knows this and that, and I thought that's what was going to happen, but I feel like he's going to come into it, if not in the next episode, then the one after that. But it was definitely an amazing fight inside the mountain. The stuff on the outside was really interesting because I had no idea what to expect. It was like, okay, the stuff with Indra, when they found her, it was one of my favorite scenes. Because when Lincoln's pulling her out, she's like, get your hands off me, Reaper. And she's like, get off me. And she just stands up like nothing happened. I'm like, okay, she's not even injured. And she just got up like she's super badass. And then she got shot. And it was just like, I didn't know if she was going to live or not, especially when she passed out. Because I was like, I'm not 100% sure if she just fainted or if she died. But fortunately, she did survive. And with her passing out, that allowed Octavia to really step up as a second. And, well, not even step up, but really just take hold of that and really integrate herself into the Grounder society, because she had a good idea and the other Grounders, the other seconds actually followed her. So that was definitely great to see her character have that moment where she, was really integrated, and not just by Indra, but by other people who still didn't trust her. So, every little step that she gets to take, I always think is really cool when she kind of changes people's minds and, she takes charge a bit. It would have been amazing if she did end up becoming like the actual leader of the village because she's Indra's second. But I am glad Indra survived because I do really like her character, despite how much she might have hated the Sky People beforehand. She's kind of she's feeling a lot better about it. So I still like her character. Fortunately, Kane did survive as well in this episode, and he was really on the brink. Like, Indra was shot and it was crazy, and she passed out, but it wasn't like the long draw like it was with Kane, where when they do stuff like that in TV, it always makes you wonder because they go back and forth. You never really know, especially in a show like this, where it's like they could do that. Like, they can kill off characters. It does happen. So it was great to see that he survived. It was actually really cool at the end when everyone from Camp Jaha, or at least a lot of people, came in to provide extra help because they saw the explosion and they wanted to help out. They aren't just saying they want peace just to say it. So they went and they helped out, and I thought that was actually really cool as well. And one thing that didn't really come up too much is Lexa and Clark surviving and people asking them like what exactly happened. And I was sure Lincoln was going to bring it up, and technically he kind of did, but the sniper like shooting the gun off kind of gave them an out. So it's gonna come up, like something's gonna happen. They're gonna get busted for this lie, and it won't be Clark's mother. Like, you know, Abby decided she's, you know, she said she was going to keep her secret, so she will, but someone's going to have the question and they're going to ask it in front of other people, and even if they don't, if one person gets the real answer, like, we knew this was coming and we just, you know, took off, you know, other people are going to find out. So I still feel like that's going to happen. They aren't going to be able to just completely avoid it. I mean, they're in, you know, when you're in the craziness, you're not, like, really trying to focus on every little, you know, minute detail. Is like, great, you survived. We thought you were dead and you're not. That's good. And that's pretty much it. Let's help other people live. But, you know, in the next episode, who knows what's going to happen. They could have these questions brought up again, and there won't be mass hysteria to kind of give them it out and let them say, like, oh, we should, you know, not focus on this and go off and do that. So I'm incredibly excited. I love the preview for the next episode, like the sort of happy music they use, and then it kind of, you know, fades away to sort of craziness, because the fog, being the ultimate thing that everyone was kind of trying to stop, it's still active and it's going to be released on everyone. So it's going to be pretty nuts. I'm excited to see just everything with this, because I don't know what's going to happen with, you know, after this big explosion. A lot of the people were rallied, but there are going to be a lot of people that have questions, and then that could kind of affect how rallied everyone is. Of course, everything inside the mountain is going to be just insane, and then everyone, like, is going to be Camp Jaha, as well as, I would assume, the 12 clans, or at least however far the fog is really going to spread. That's going to go really far, and I have to assume it's going to, you know, spread and affect a ton of different villages, because it affected the characters in Season 1, and they had to, like, I think they were like 100 miles or 80 miles, like the initial site where the 100 were, from Camp, or not from Camp Jaha, but from Mount Weather. That was like a million miles away when they first did that. So that stuff spreads really far. They have, you know, it goes the distance. It will attack a lot of different places it'll reach. So I'm excited to see that. We also got a couple of clips of Murphy. So we're going to get, like, the sort of City of Light storyline, which I'm really excited to see. And he had, like, blood on his face, so that's going to be crazy and get really serious again. They probably ran into even more raiders, and there was a scene towards the end where they were all, like, huddled down. So I don't know. I don't think that was really the fog. I think that was just, like, a typical, like, dust storm. Not as deadly as acid fog, but those things can be incredibly dangerous, too. You can't really see, and, you know, you think you get lost in an open field where you don't know where you're going, you will definitely get lost in the sandstorm. So I'm excited for everything in the next episode. It seems like it's gonna be really well rounded and give us all the storylines, at least a little bit of each. So I'm excited for that. Obviously, I love this episode. I thought it was great. All the stuff with the 47 inside the mountain is just getting better and better for me. I'm loving it every single episode, of course. I want to know what you guys thought about this one, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and how long do you think Clark and Lex's secret is actually going to be a secret? Because I have to assume, like, especially in a show like this, in some other shows, maybe you could guess that no one will find out, but especially when it's something like this, and there's just always some new form of bad drama for them to deal with, I have to assume someone's going to ask again, someone's going to find out the truth, and it's going to be bad. It could even be, you know, way down the line, like after they defeat Mount Weather. Even after that, it could probably come out, because Bellamy would obviously just randomly be like, oh, so Clark wasn't able to stop the missile or whatever, and then, you know, something as simple as that, and everyone knows. So, you know, I don't know how long it'll last, but obviously I want to know what you guys think. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.